Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
The world's just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. How can we possibly have the slightest idea what to expect? The best intentions. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions.
Dr. Malcolm, I have scheduled campfire stories with my uncle.
You can convince the Washington Post and the Skeptical Inquirer of whatever you want. But I was there, I know what happened, and so do you.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Hello and welcome to the February issue of Jurassic Minutes, where we discuss recent movie, toy and franchise news for the Jurassic series. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And on this episode we're discussing toys, art and dinosaurs. But before we get to that, David, anything new in the mail this month?
Yeah. It turns out that Cinefex magazine, which had been running for like 40 years, I think, is finally going out of business. Apparently, I thought they had gone out of business like between Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom. Because I know they did a Jurassic World issue, but I didn't think they did a Fallen Kingdom issue. But it turns out they did. So I picked that up. And then I found in storage the Lost World Koosh Ball T-Rex.
Oh.
They're like these like little... I never really understood the point of them, but they're like these figures, but the main body of them had like rubber spokes that kind of form like a ball. And like I said, it's kind of strange because it's... I mean, there's really no kind of point to them. They don't even really dangle that well, but I had the T-Rex one and I had the Velociraptor one that both came out for the Lost World line. Sadly, I think I gave the Velociraptor one to a friend of mine when I was a kid, and I have no idea whatever happened to it. Yeah.
There'd be thousands of stories out there of kids trading toys and that sort of stuff when they were younger when they shouldn't have.
I know. But yeah. I mean, they're like a little expensive on like eBay, but I mean they're not terribly expensive, so I might find the Velociraptor one and pick it up.
Oh, that's nice.
This one's not Jurassic related, but it is kind of, because it came out like during the dinosaur craze in the 90s. From the 1998 Godzilla toy line, the Rumble and Roar Godzilla figure. When I was a kid, I mean, I had a couple Godzilla merchandise. Like I had the Taco Bell cup holder, one of those soap holders. I had one of the Trendmaster toys, but I never really kind of liked the Trendmaster toys because the toys were posed really weirdly with like these kind of like twisty tails, kind of like what Hasbro did with the Jurassic Park 3 line dinosaurs, where they curved the tails so that they could fit the more boxes on shelves. The face or the head sculpt on the Trendmaster toys were always kind of goofy. But these ones came from a company, this one came from a company called Toy Biz, which was the same company that did the remote control dinosaurs for the Lost World. And they came out with a remote control Godzilla figure that was looked kind of like the same basic mechanics as the T-Rex that they did for Lost World. But I grabbed the Rumble and Roar figure, which was a similar remote control figure, but instead of like moving his legs across the floor like the remote control figure did, you press the tank that was attached to it by a wire, and it moved his head back and forth and roared.
How'd the leg mechanism work? Was that powered in the hips, or did it have something down at the feet that moved back and forth to make the legs move?
It's kind of hard. It kind of had like a shifty kind of thing in it. I took the T-Rex partially apart to kind of figure out how it worked when I was
Careful.
a kid. So it kind of like the hips swiveled.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see it on the thing, but the legs, it created a effect where it looked like the legs moved and it had little wheels that powered it along.
Yep. Nice.
on the bottom of the feet. So, but yeah, this one the legs are static, but the arms are posable, and it was just the head moved. They had another one called the Battle Action T-Rex that a friend of mine had when we were kids. That's why I always kind of like the Toy Biz figures more than the Trendmaster ones, because I thought the sculpts were more accurate, while it had more play features as well, because this Battle Action figure had like 8 different things you could do. You could stomp the feet, move the tail, move the arms. It was a really cool figure. So I picked up this one. It's kind of got like the same kind of rubbery skin that the T-Rex had and the remote control figure had. So it's actually got like a pretty halfway decent looking sculpt. And the only thing wrong with it really is that the one leg looks like it's been kind of gimpy from laying in the toy box at the bottom of the toy box for years. I'm gonna try to fix that, but otherwise I'm really happy to have the figure I've always kind of wanted finally in my collection.
Yeah, hair dryer or something just to warm it up a little bit to get it to mould. Just where it's been laying on the leg.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Nice. I seem to have fallen into the trap of collecting random magazines with Jurassic Park articles in it as well. I
Yes.
mentioned last show.
It is a deep rabbit hole.
Yes. I got 2 of the Fandango magazines with 2 of the Jurassic Park articles in them, and one with the Lost World, and the Rolling Stones mag, which has got a Laura Dern interview in it, and a bit of backstory on Jurassic Park as well. So apparently eBay notified me this morning I've just won an SFX magazine as well with something on Jurassic Park 4 in it. So I don't remember bidding on that, but I must have, and I've won it. So that's everything that's come in the mail for me. Is that all for you?
Yeah. Despite having my tax refund come in, I've actually been kind of saving it a little bit for some reason.
Just getting ready for the right figure.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of priced some of the Chronicle collection compies on the secondhand market, since obviously Chronicle's not going to be delivering anymore. And I was looking at some of these are like up to like 3 times the original pricing.
Oh.
And I'm just like, I can't really justify paying $1,200 on a $400 figure.
Yeah, and then you want to find one close that you can actually go and get it and not have it shipped, just to alleviate any possibilities of damage it might get in transit. There'd be nothing worse than paying more money for it and having something wrong with it when it turns up.
Yeah, really.
Compy's been presumed to be scavengers, like jackals.
Gives me the creeps. It's like it's not scared.
There haven't been any visitors to this island. There's no reason for it to fear man.
Now it does.
Alright, how about we get into some news?
Alright.
Alright. First up, we discussed last month the rumours of a Amber Collection Ray Arnold and Ian Malcolm version 2. Unfortunately, Mattel, what have you done? You've just given us another Jurassic Park Ian Malcolm in the classic T-Rex breakout sort of setup. He's got some mud on his boots, the flare, and a radiator he would hold later on the film to direct Ellie through the maintenance shed. Mm-hmm. Did you get the original Malcolm?
I did not, and I'm kind of disappointed that this is just basically an added accessory repack. I was kind of really hoping for Lost World Malcolm here.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, like I mean, at minimum, a new body sculpt, you know.
Yeah, but I think the talk of the town here is the Ray Arnold.
Yes.
You can see Sam Jackson in it, but he's got the glasses, the headset, the green tie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see Sam Jackson in it, but it's also definitely a young Sam Jackson too. I mean, you got to remember this was 1993. He had hair. I don't think he's had hair since like 2000. So when he did Mace Windu, I think is like when he first started shaving his head.
Yeah, I can't recall what it was in just before that.
Pulp Fiction, maybe, or was that earlier 90s?
No, that was earlier, because I think Shaft came out after Episode 1, so he was already shaven for that too. But not surprised, I knew that he wouldn't have a cigarette in his mouth As much as it fit the character, I don't think they'd be able to sell that these days.
No, at least not to kids. Oh, Deep Blue Sea, he'd just been in that in 1999.
Oh, that was on TV last night too.
He had hair back then too.
Mm.
Yeah, he had a regular full head of hair.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a guilty pleasure of mine, Deep Blue Sea. It's like one of those higher budget creature features that you gotta love.
Mm. It seems so Crichton too.
It does, yeah.
Mm.
In fact, not that you mentioned, it's almost kind of surprised that Crichton didn't have a hand in the screenplay for that movie because, like you said, it does feel really Crichton.
Mm. One thing here it's great to see is the main accessory is that classic 90s box computer, the IBMs they had back there in the film, and the tour program decal on the screen. Looks like there's a lot of detail there too.
It is. I wonder if they took like a screen cap from one of those fan animations and just kind of like shrunk it down to accessory size.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it looks fantastic though. I'll definitely look at getting Ray to go with Nedry.
Yeah, same.
Dennis, the headlights.
His arm is detachable.
Oh, really? That's perfect.
Yes.
I wonder if you display your Arnold with the arm on or with it off, and then add a little bit of red to it.
It'll definitely go great with the Raptor. For you can finally recreate the deleted scene of Sam Jackson losing an arm to a Raptor in the shed.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hold on to your butts.
Coming up next, again, Mattel, what are you thinking? The new Super Colossal for 2021's been announced, and it's a Toro.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a board meeting or something when they're talking about what figures they're going to release for the next year, and someone just slowly raises their hand and goes, "We're expecting the children to put all this."
Well, coincidentally, Toro has actually been a very fan favorite of the fans. Well, I guess that's kind of redundant, but yeah, it's been a favorite of the fans. So I can definitely see Toro selling well, especially because the sculpt is beautiful, very very good details, and even the scar is not just painted on; they actually sculpted the scar in.
Mm. Yes, that red scar down behind the nose. He's got some good detail. I think just because of the size, I'm still going to keep the smaller one and not get this because I don't. I'm sitting here with the Super Colossal T-Rex leaning up against the bed. I got nowhere to put it. I put all these big figures. I got Blue, and it's in the shed, still wrapped in a garbage bag. I haven't even opened it.
Oh, a good place to put her. She needs to run free.
I know, but there's nowhere to put her. Yeah.
I have mine in the closet, up on the upper shelf in the closet. I really just nowhere else to put her.
Mm.
Same with the Brachiosaurus.
Yeah, that's under the kitchen table. Although the dog doesn't like going under there while we're having dinner, waiting for food to be fallen on the floor because the Brachiosaur's there. I don't think she likes it very much. She definitely doesn't like this T-Rex. Too many teeth.
Yeah, that is something that's also really nice about the Super Colossal Toro is there's plenty of teeth. There was something that I thought with the Super Colossal Blue that they kind of skimped on was they made the teeth kind of big and chunky, whereas here you got a good number of teeth, you know?
Well, just the paint details, just comparing it alongside the Super Colossal T-Rex, just how much more details in the paint scheme, obviously because the character's got a bit more detail in her as well, but just the different shades of orange and the darker colours. No, it looks good. Can't wait to see it on the shelf.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job with this one.
Yep.
Amanda? Ben? Amanda, honey, Dr. Grant said that's a bad idea.
What?
He says it's a bad idea.
What's a bad idea?
What was that?
All right, moving on. Interesting to wake up during the past week and find that artist John Bell had posted up some unseen and seen art on his website. I hadn't been to his website before. I know he'd done art for Jurassic Park and Lost World because of what we've seen in the making of books. But there's some art here that hasn't been seen as well. Just on briefly looking at he calls it Jurassic Park 4, so he was obviously on board before it was changed to Jurassic World. The Nublar map I never knew was his. I thought that was just a fan-made one or something, but it shows that whole theme park section down the bottom, like we've seen in some of the concept art as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Bell, he has a couple pieces in the making of book for The Lost World, or I'm sorry, for Jurassic Park as well, so... Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I posted up a couple of weeks ago on the Facebook page, the concept art for the gyrosphere that he done. Well, I didn't realise was his, but he did it for Jurassic World with the sort of explorer themed paint on the side, the rings and that. I can't recall if that if that photo had notations on it, but the ones here on his site, they were, well, in the concept anyway, they were planning to have the gyrospheres picked up by like a suction cup and taken to heights to be a tree high or Brachiosaurus height. That's a very bad idea.
Put them at a very convenient biting height.
But just the whole ball's just suspended by this gondola system that would pick it up. We've discussed mud, water, grass, poo to get on the glass, and if this was an automated system, I wonder how many times the ball would fall off.
Or like fails to suction halfway through, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
That would be very bad.
Yes, it's very, very bad. Having a look at the Jurassic Park stuff, he's got some concept art here. A couple of the Explorer shots we've seen before in that making of book. Tim with the night vision goggles. There's one here of an early model Range Rover, sort of done up in the Jurassic Park colourings as well, which I don't really mind, especially the green grass at the bottom of it, and the different style logo with a sauropod there in the island shape instead of the round T-Rex logo that we got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we also have like a number of posters and stuff that he also designed. Which is kind of interesting because some of the art that John Bell did for some of the posters could almost be used as like in-universe posters. You know? Yep.
And the good thing is too, I haven't checked out his shop, but he is selling some original art there. I'd love to be able to buy some of this stuff and just have it on the wall.
Yeah. I'm gonna say another one here of the Vista view with the Brachiosaurus, and interestingly too, a blood spattered, looks like a child's drawing of a raptor.
Oh. Yeah, that is different. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't even know what that'd fit in the novel. Where they'd be coming from.
I would think like Tina's drawing, but Tina encountered a compy, not a.
Yeah, that is a mystery. Yeah. I love the northeast southwest art as well, of the T-Rex in the middle of it. And there's one here. Where is that? There's one here. It's I'm guessing it's either the control room or the genetics lab with a big, broad-chested man on the balcony, looking and pointing. Notice the circular. They might be around skylights or something. Looks very Jurassic Park free with the lab, and what we see some of the production art there. Different versions of the raptor cages as well. But there's so much stuff here. You guys are just getting on the website and have a look for yourselves. I love the postcard too. Greetings from John Hammond's Jurassic Park off the coast of Costa Rica, and
I know.
I want that as a.
I've done like fan made postcards of like, I think one was of the visitor center, another was of those islands that they have in the lunchroom scene where they're eating lunch. You can see the random South Asian islands in the background.
Yep.
And I've always put like greetings from beautiful Jurassic Park on there. So this now I kind of want to redo them with this text.
The helicopter concept art here has got InGen Corporation instead of InGen Construction on it. I'd have to have a look and see this, because that's one of the images we've seen before that's in that making of book. So I wonder why the change there went from corporation to construction for the film.
Maybe it was meant to be originally a corporate helicopter.
Yeah.
And not like a
Yeah, well, it's a different InGen logo anyway, but yeah. Like, moving over to the stuff for the Lost World, I think all this stuff we've seen before, all the various vehicles and some quality photos of the RVs and that, what they're going to do. I think the, what do they call it, the Niagara barrel, that's something new, isn't it, that Roland was going to climb inside of? Just trying to read the notations
I think that Behind the Gates had discussed that earlier, but it had been in like kind of a poor quality, so this is the first time we're actually seeing it in high definition.
And being able to read the notations, it's just describing that a hunter can go inside, lay in the fetal position, and and get rolled. In the chance of extreme danger or loss of life, you can climb inside this big barrel and survive, even though the ends seem to be open. So anything with clawed ends could probably reach it and get you.
I wonder if that kind of originated from the safety cage that they had in the Lost World novel. Remember, if they had the safety cage that Arby gets into when they're in the high hide, and unfortunately gets locked in there as the raptors roll them back to their lair.
Yeah, and then goes for one hell of a roll. Getting taken away by the raptors. There's some concept art of Tim and Lex too that hasn't been seen before. Timmy with a broken arm, it seems, and look like they're going to go after that original the ages and that for him instead of before they switched for the final film.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans have always kind of been glad that they switched that up, because I know many fans agree with the idea that Novel Lex was rather annoying and useless.
Yeah. But I suppose the big surprise that came out of this was concept art for Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I had no idea he did any for 3.
Apart from, there's the concept art of the harbour / marina, but then there's the sort of the miniature stuff for the lab building. I can't recall any concept art for Jurassic Park 3 being out anyway. There might be a couple of small ones, but this is interesting. It's coincided with the knowledge of the tabletop book coming out, and I hope that this means there's going to be some more of this sort of art in that book covering Jurassic Park 3. We've mentioned before how much we'd love to see a lot more focus on Jurassic Park 3 in that book, just because of what we've had with the other 2 films already.
Oh yeah, I mean, we discussed, I think, on last month's news roundup that we kind of suspect that they are starting to, some of the concept artists and people who worked on the movie are starting to dig through their own archives for this book.
And then there's the what the art's depicting to our TVs. There's a couple of other concept art of incubators and the robotic arms for the lab, which is good to see. They're pretty basic drawings, but we get those beautiful coloured images of two different motorcycles with a character riding them, all sort of banged up and bruised, and it's the Jurassic Park logo on them.
Yeah.
There's been discussion around, we have that marketing with the Spinosaur and the Sight C and all that sort of stuff, and the possibility that was going to be on Nublar. I don't know if these vehicles would be on Sauna, and this is sort of a hint that yes, at the early stages they were going to go back to Nublar, or I can't see it being somewhere else other than those 2.
Well, I know that there is not just speculation, but I believe Jack Emo Ones has confirmed that originally they were going to go back to have it set on Isla Nublar, but at some point either it was too late to change it to change it to the Redwoods when they switched it to Sorna or something, but they had already scouted for Isla Nublar locations, which is why we end getting the kind of classic jungle in the third movie instead of the Redwoods again.
Yeah, I still believe a couple of small elements you could remove from Jurassic Park 3 and it could quite easily be on Jurassic Park, on Nublar.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also the speculation too, these two scenes with supposedly Eric or someone, one of the survivors escaping on the motorcycle could have been the original escape from the lab, getting away from the raptors and the raptor chase happening there, but that's all speculation. But
yeah.
Interesting too, he drew this on the 6th in 2000, so it was very late in the production. The film was going to be released in a year, and he's doing concept art for it still.
But it also may have been that, like, they were still trying to, because if you notice with some of the other concept art, for example, the raptor head art, the art itself is just photoshopped and recolors of the Jurassic Park heads from the Lost World.
Yeah, if you're gonna be there, you're gonna sort of reuse some of the stuff that come before.
And in fact, I think several of the maquettes themselves were actually recast from the Lost World maquettes. Like, I know the raptors were modified from the Lost World maquettes, and the T-Rex was actually just a straight up repaint of one of the maquettes from the Lost World's molds that they just brought back.
Yeah. I suppose the other thing with the motorcycles too, the fact that they're in the Jurassic Park theme over both films. Yes, we haven't seen the whole island, but there's been no uniform with the vehicles or no themed vehicles seen on Sorna apart from the Green Explorer with the yellow engine letters on it, which could have been a special vehicle for the lab techs to go to the Avery or something a bit more comfy than a 70s Land Cruiser or an old Suburban.
Or heck, even something for investor tours, you know?
Yeah, yep.
That was something that they had set up in Trespasser, where they had, like, they were building the hotel and the monorail system so that they could take investors out on tours of the island and its various facilities.
Yep, just the creative juices get going on what some of this stuff could mean, and again, just looking forward to so much for that tabletop book.
How much of the island have you explored?
I stayed pretty close to the compound. Figured if anyone came looking for me, that's where they'd start.
Lastly, Sam Neill's been continuing his talk show interviews, that'll do. Talking about Dominion once again, and this time he's added a little bit of a tidbit about Grant and Ellie, and there's some added stuff here from Colin Trevorrow too, with the film seeming like a 6-hour movie, which, yes, they got a lot of stuff crammed in, it sounds like, to finish off this chapter of the franchise.
Well, I doubt that it's literally going to... I mean, even counting deleted scenes is probably not going to extend past 3 hours. Simply because, like, half of that 6 hours, probably more than half, is going to be just, like, retakes and bloopers and pretty much anything that they can't really use for the final finished film. And pretty much every movie's got that. Like, they say that Star Wars the Revenge of the Sith originally was going to have like a 4-hour cut. And when you just think about, they could probably have, it's a 2-hour 15 movie, 2-hour and 15-minute movie, but you think about it, 4 hours, a lot of that's bloopers and stuff, you know? And people are like, release the 4-hour cut. But in reality, there isn't a 4-hour cut. there's at most maybe 2.5 hour cut.
Yeah, and sometimes things are removed for a very good reason as well, for pacing and everything else.
Poop scene, Jurassic World.
Yeah, yep. We'll get there. We're nearly there in the minutes. The other thing he sort of hinted at too is that Alan Grant's the same character, but it's a different world, different times. And Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler haven't seen each other for some time, and you'll see how it all pans out when they meet up again. So a lot of fans were hoping for a retcon that they'll be back together, but it doesn't sound like it. Not at the start of the film, anyway.
But at the same time, that is something that I've been kind of hoping to see is this idea of Grant. Paleontology was struggling even as far back as 2001 in these movies, and the park wasn't even open yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they just knew about the dinosaurs. And Grant's already struggling with funding. He was struggling funding back in 1993. And it's just, I'd be love to see where paleontology is at this point with living dinosaurs and a decade of an actual dinosaur theme park being open. And I was discussing this, and somebody's like, "Well, I know. Well, Grant doesn't seem like the kind of person to be open to change." But that's what makes it, because at this point, we know that they have like a whole field of just veterinarians who study these animals and how to treat them. So, like, do paleontologists, have they moved more into the biology and less into the geology? And does like Masrani does Masrani actually even clone animals just to send to like universities for dissection, like are compies the new frogs? I mean, for as many doors as it closes, it also opens a lot too. So I'm really interested in seeing the status of paleontology in a world where dinosaurs are now alive.
Yeah.
And even better, like I said, Grant. I was talking to a guy who said that Grant doesn't seem like he's open to change, but Owen kind of presents as this foil to Grant, whereas Grant is more methodical and he studies everything around him. Owen's not. He's impulsive, and he'll like jump into a raptor cage to save a guy. He's not a scientist. He's an animal behaviorist. He's basically a glorified dog trainer.
Yeah, these ones just bite harder.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like the rap with the raptors, Grant is adamant that they're just savage beasts that can't really interact with humans. And then here's Owen riding through a jungle on his motorcycle next to him.
I'd love for the character to have seen that.
We're not compatible.
No. And it'd probably take an entire film just to discuss how or where paleontology is and all that in the Jurassic world, but it sort of has me thinking too that he sort of says that Grant's the same character, but not in relation to Jurassic Park or JP3. If the world in general knows about how much extra bits are added to make the dinosaurs, if there's still a need for paleontology to, because it's studying the real thing, the original thing, and all these new animals are sort of a little bit different here and there. They've been modified, and that's not even going into the hybrids, but just Grant's just sitting out there in front of a museum with a sign. They're not real. They're bitses. They're bitsosauruses.
Or, fund me, please, I beg you.
Yeah. And then you just have people walking past,
we'll
laughing
dig
at
for
him.
Food.
I'll just go to Nublar. I don't need you. Hopefully there's a little bit more backstory there that we can get whet our appetites. Anything else on that?
No, I think we covered that pretty well.
All right. So that's it for the news. Bit of a short one this month, but a couple of good things there to discuss, and we'll see what happens for March. Yeah, I don't know, unless we start getting some more stuff, some more figure news revealed or something like that. I wonder where Iron Studios are, if they've got anything new they're about to announce. But if they do, we'll be here to discuss it.
Interesting thing with the statue companies is they seem to kind of like go into a they do what the toy companies used to do, where they go into like a hibernation with properties. Like if there's no Jurassic Park movie coming out, they don't make any new Jurassic Park statues.
But then Prime 1 seems to buck that trend, and they're still making Transformers statues from Dark of the Moon and 10-year-old films. So there's someone buying them somewhere, but it is one of those things. If there's no marketing or no current media for that sort of stuff, then yeah, you're probably not going to be able to sell it as easily.
No.
But we'll find out. We'll find out next month. In the meantime, we'll get back to recording some Jurassic Minutes and keep on looking at Jurassic World 1 minute at a time.
All right, sounds good.
Yep, but until then, Dave, we'll get out of here.
All right.